Hey guys, it is Thursday, March the 4th, and we start off with a video. We're going to look at the different stages of planning a project. So I'm going to start off with a video and then we'll go into the nodes.
Hi guys, it's Chris Daniel, your project management guru. Are you ready to finally take your family and career to the next level? What about change your zip code or what you drive or where you live? I want you to finally command the six-figure salary that you deserve without network marketing. I believe you're already managing small projects at work or at home, and if so, you're probably underpaid. You should consider a certification in project management or a PMP. The average PMP earns about $108,000 a year with about 5 years of work experience. That's the same as your buddy in the cubicle right next to you. Pay attention in this video as I give you more detail. All right, so the question is, what is project management? It's the biggest question I get, right? So here it is in layman's terms. Project management really means using a team to get things done on time and within budget. It's that simple. So for example, I think about when my son was a baby and I had 30 bucks and it was 11:30 at night and I had to run to Walmart and pick up Pampers and formula, a treat for mom, a little something for myself, and try to have change for coffee in the morning, right? That's project management. I think that came from being raised by a single mom who I saw make ends meet, and who knew later in life that making ends meet would turn into my profession, right, into project management. So I want to give you 5 stages of project management, and you do this all the time, I promise. Here we go. Stage number 1 is called initiating. That's when you're just thinking about the project or conceptualizing it. Stage number 2, planning. That means putting it on paper, getting it out of your head and onto paper. Step number 3 is actually beginning the work with a team, with people, all right? Stage number 4, monitoring and controlling. That's measuring, that's adjusting. People don't like to do it, but that's a very important stage. And then stage number 5, closing the project. That's delivering the project. That's satisfying the need. Now, when you think about it, you do these 5 stages when you're taking a vacation, when you're going on a diet, or when you're giving a presentation at work. It's project management, but when you do them daily, your work stands out from the crowd, when you become consistent. Now, honestly, most people don't know that that's what project management really is, and most project managers didn't know that that's what it was when they first started. They stumbled into it just like I did. So here's my story. About 10 years ago, I attended a conference in Denver and I heard a gentleman giving a presentation and he was eloquent and I liked everything he presented. And afterwards I approached him and I asked him a few questions and he told me, you know, you should really consider a career in project management and getting your PMP. And I said, PMP, what is that? And that's when I started researching. It was the first time I ever heard of it, right? So I went to Google and I started researching and learning about project management and what it was and looking at the different levels. And I decided to take the plunge. So I remember studying for my PMP exam and taking my book on the plane with me to Miami to a fellows trip. And the passenger beside me, she asked me, so how does one become FIMP certified? And I had to laugh at it because it really does look like that word, but I had to inform her. There's no I in project management. The PMP stands for Project Management Professional. And about a month after that, after the conversation on the plane, I passed my PMP exam and I was a certified project management professional. And here's the big deal. About 6 months later, about 6 months after that, it's probably a little less, but about 6 months after that, I received a $15,000 raise just with that one certification. So I'm here to tell you, I'm passionate about it because it changes lives.
So I love that guy because he breaks down project management just for everyday life. And I love the way that he was calling himself a pimp. That was so cute. All right, so the notes, actually, before we do notes, we're going to do a little bit of review. So what are the three main types of project constraints? T, so things that are holding back, that can hold back a project. T is your time, your schedule. B is your money, your budget. And S is your scope, or your outline of what you need to get accomplished, so the work itself. And project creep, remember, is when the deadline is closing in on you. So if you got a week left to get everything accomplished, that creep, that project creep, is that time of that deadline. All right, now our new stuff. So the main stages of project management. Okay. All right, number one, of course, is initiation. That's your idea. That's all of your brainstorming and just kind of jotting that down on paper. This is very informal. So you start off with what's called your statement of work. That's kind of like a rough draft for a research paper, if that makes sense. So you're just kind of laying down your foundation. You're getting your ideas from your head on paper. You start with a very, brief short-term description of what you want to do. You write down some goals that you want to accomplish while creating your project. You talk about your project scope. What is our outline? What are we going to do? What are we not going to do? You talk about what are you actually going to create? So your product itself. You're going to talk about your risks. So the money that you're going to spend, the time, the energy, and then also where are you going to get your money from? So this is all about getting your ideas on paper. Now to start your project, this is going to be called a project charter. That's very similar to you just jotting your ideas down on paper, but this is a more professional document to actually get your project started. Stage two is your plan. So getting your plan in order. So you're just continuing with that rough draft, kind of like with your research paper, but actually putting all that stuff in order. So you're not just doing your bubble maps, you're actually putting your research in order that you want to get it completed. And then your project manager, of course, they just oversee everything, your scope, your schedule, your budget, and also your risks. And they put all those things together so you can get your plan and go ahead and get it and put it into action. Your work breakdown structure, this is your outline. So you take all the parts of your project and you put them into similar categories. That way you can put teams in charge of this set of tasks, this team in charge of another set of tasks, and then just get all that stuff organized in an outline format. Then you make sure that everything's completed in order for your schedule. You've got your rules and regulations, your benchmarks, almost like taking a benchmark test for school. You're just kind of making sure that you're checking your progress as you go along, and then you're staying within your budget, you're staying within your time frame, and you're getting that scope checked off. You've got your risk analysis, so you're looking at, okay, if you're building a house, Thursday is supposed to rain, how are we going to adjust for that? How are we going to catch up? People have to take time off if people get hurt, so you've got to kind of look at the risks that you're taking and assess those. This is a work breakdown structure. So like your outline for building a house, you see you've got your levels up top, internal, your foundation, external. You got budget, what works needs to be done, electrical, plumbing, steel, your masonry stuff. So just a little bit different, more specific look at what a breakdown structure would look like. Phase 3 is actually doing the work. You're starting to build your house, get your teams together. You're getting all of your resources, all of your tools, all of your equipment together, and your employees are working. And you're making sure that everything is completed on time and within budget. Phase 4 is controlling. So keeping your project on track within budget, within your timeline. You're gonna make sure that you do things that adjust for your timeline. So if there was bad weather yesterday, you need to make sure that you catch up today, whether it's working overtime, just talking to your team and making sure that they understand that we've got to speed up the process. Quality control, so you have to test to make sure that everything's okay. So your electricity for your house, you have to make sure that that's connected correctly, make sure that it's working. Stage 5 is your closing. So here are the keys to your house. So you're delivering your final product. Tie up any loose ends, clean up debris around you. And then you look at it and you say, okay, what did we do well? What do we need to correct for next time? What needs to be improved? That's called your lessons learned document. And that's what we covered for today. Be sure you go into Canvas, do your exit ticket. We're also continuing to work on our product, our new service. So make sure you're getting with your partner if you have one. That's due next Thursday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.